These obituaries brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. 256-245-4361. That's Curtis & Son Funeral Home. Mrs. Joanne Boykin. Mrs. Joanne Boykin died at the age of 83 on Wednesday at Brookwood Medical Center. Curtis & Son Funeral Home announcing the arrangements. Funeral service for Bill McFarland, 22-year veteran volunteer firefighter. That service will be on Saturday at 2 p.m. from Curtis & Son North. Visitation from noon until 2. Burial in the Macedonia Cemetery. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Mildred Lee Garrett Barclay, age 96, is today at 1 o'clock from Mount Zion CME Church in Alpine, with Pastor Terrence Chapman officiating. Interment in the church cemetery. Sims Funeral Service directing. Funeral service for Deborah Cowan Shirey, age 55, is today at 2 o'clock from Midway Memory Gardens Funeral Home Chapel, with the Reverend Roger Hayes officiating. Burial in the Midway Memory Gardens Cemetery. Midway Memory Gardens Funeral Home will direct that service. Ms. Shirey was a registered nurse and worked for Comfort Care Hospice. Again, Midway Memory Gardens directing that service. Graveside service for Mr. Willie Ray Holloway will be Friday at 10:30 from Alexander City Cemetery. The Reverend John Mann officiating. The family receiving friends Friday from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. at the funeral home. Mr. Holloway died Sunday, July the 12th. Memorials may be made to the First United Methodist Church in Equality, Alabama, or to the Children's Harbor at Lake Martin, 1 Our Children's Highway. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com, Radley Funeral Home directing. And funeral service for Mr. James David Wheeler, age 73, of Talladega, is 11 o'clock Friday at Ursery Funeral Home Chapel, with Reverend Bobby Freeman officiating. Burial in the Mount Olive Baptist Church Cemetery. Mr. Wheeler died Tuesday, July the 14th at his residence. He was a native and lifelong resident of Talladega. Online condolences at urseryfuneralhome.com. Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega directing that service. This obituary report brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. 256-245-4361. That's Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.